Jag ska spela Her Story. Jag sätter fram emot det här spelet. Det är också ett indiespel. Det här är min Indie Summer 2018. Jag har 4 timmar på mig att klara det här spelet. Får se om jag fixar det. Jag vet inte så mycket om spelet. Jag fattar att det har någonting att göra. Att man ska forska i någonting. I en gammal dator eller något. Okej. Gammal dator, okej. 4 entries. Jag gissar att jag behöver papper och penna här. Vilken tur att jag har det. På mitt jobb hittar jag alltid sjukt mycket pennor och papper. Så att jag har gratis tillgång till det. Okej.
You think it's murder? I mean, clearly it's murder. What can I do to help?
Add to session. Okay.
Yeah, that's me. But February, I mean, that was months ago. What's that got to do with Simon's murder?
Simon's murder. Simon, February. Jag antecknar alltså med penna och papper. Och jag vet inte hur jag kan synas i bild samtidigt. Jag är inte så tekniskt kunnig. Så, nu ska vi se.
I didn't murder Simon. You've got it wrong. You've got the wrong person.
Well, we'll see about that.
I'd like to speak to a lawyer now. Please. You have no murder weapon. You have nothing. And all these stories we've been telling each other. Just that. Stories.
Okej. Men om jag söker på Simon. Vad är det för stories? Simon. Boyfriend.
No. I told her it was one of my boyfriends. Someone I had met in the bar. I think she was happy. But I could tell she was thinking, why couldn't it happen to her and Simon? They were the ones with the real life. Why not them?
Why did you murder Simon? Det är bara att börja.
Simon Smith. He works at Ernst Brothers Glass. They do windows, all kinds of glass. Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things. Mirror making.
Se, Ernst Brothers Glass.
Simon does the more special work. Mirror making, feature windows, artistic things. Really beautiful things.
Okej. Jag vet inte varför jag ska rädda den till session. Computer technology is the backbone of modern police work. The logic database is one of the many continuing efforts to digitize our workflow and preserve evidence in a manner which will allow you to work more efficiently In the coming years, the computer will continue to be the most valuable item in your crime-fighting toolkit. This database contains footage transferred from the existing homicide and serious crime tape archive at Portsmouth. It has been automatically sorted using our ASR technology. Each statement made by the interview participants is stored separately so it can be tagged for submission to court. The audio has been digitally stenographed and the content of the testimony is attached to each clip. To retrieve a clip, type in a word robbery into the search file, click search, and the database will return all clips in which the speaker uses that word. To narrow a search, use multiple words, segment, robbery, supermarket. Working from a printed transcript, you can be even more precise. Use inverted commas to search for an exact match against the entire statement. Yes, I was there. To store a clip for later reference, click Add to Session. Also, if you wish to add additional tags of your own to help future searches, please click in the User Tags box and type in your desired tags. Okay. Really read me. Here's the database. I filed a freedom of information from form to get you a quest access. Everything seems to work. They transferred the videos of the original tapes in 1999 and then the Y2K thing hit and they got mothballed. No one has touched them since. I couldn't find the server with the detectives footage on. Possibly those tapes got damaged when the old archives were flooded in 97. But figured this would be enough. Take your time. Y2K. Okej, då ska vi se min investigation. Ernst Brothers Glass. Jag vet inte varför jag ska söka på det. Nej, det fanns bara den. Men det formella Simon Smith då. Det fanns bara på den också. Simon dead.
It's all that matters really, the baby. Simon's dead, but the baby, that's how he will live on. Our baby.
Okej, så ni hade en bebis. Baby. Okej. Vad har du mer att säga?
You're reaching here. Oh, I don't know why. No, I've never cheated on anyone. I've never taken anything from anyone. Simon is dead. But I have my baby to care for.
Inte världens bästa skådis. Intressant spel.
Why are you so obsessed with sex and affairs? You cheated on your wife. Is this your thing?
Okej, förhörsledaren verkar tro att det har med sex att göra om det.
It was supposed to be a secret. Just because Simon is dead doesn't mean I have to give up all his secrets. It doesn't have anything to do with what happened to Simon. No one murdered my husband because he cheated his expenses for a romantic weekend in Oxford. Like I said before, it was 3, something like that. I walked in, saw Simon. He was on the floor of the living room. His throat had been cut. There was a lot of blood. Yeah, he was dead.
3. Wow. Någonting med 3. Men på min datumordning. Jag har inte haft koll på ens. 27. Detta är ett tidigare statement som går åt det hållet. Okej.
I think when I drove back it was about 8 or something. And I got back to the house about 3.
Ja, klockan 3. Klockan 3.
I think so. I mean, to get into our garden, we'd have to climb through other gardens. All the gardens back onto each other, so you'd have to climb over 1, 2, 3 gardens to get to ours.
Mycket med 3.
Did anyone see anything? Did anyone see anyone come and go? An intruder? No, no one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone knew from the rock.
Okej, här hon känner sig inte misstänkt här än. Hon har de kläderna. Det här är... Ja, 307 några dagar senare.
I think it was that time, the first time at the house, in his bed, that I got pregnant. Amazing, right? This fucking magic sperm. And they say lightning doesn't strike twice. I didn't tell him. I missed 3 periods. I had pretty irregular periods anyway, but 3. I had always thought we were infertile. Both of us. I didn't tell him. Just waited. Hannah and I were meeting for our birthday, and I told her because I thought she would be happy for us both. I think she was.
Amanda. Kan jag gå bakåt? Vänta nu, 3. Vad sa du?
Like I said before, it was 3. Something like that.
Nej, det var inte den. Det var den.
Birthday.
Hannah. What the fuck is Hannah?
My name is Hannah. H-A-N-N-A-H. It's a palindrome. It reads the same backwards as forwards. It doesn't work from Merrick though. It's not quite symmetrical, but well, I mean, you get the idea.
Du är Hannah.
Sorry. Hannah Smith. I live at 31 Gladstone Street.
Hannah Smith.
My name is Hannah. H.
Shit.
Hannah Smith Street.
Låser sig.
At 31 Gladstone Street.
Jag kan inte pausa. Kom igen. Är det min dator?
Gladstone Street.
31 Gladstone Street.
On Gladstone Street.
Alltså det är så kusligt när man spelar genom en äldre dator från 90-talet och det börjar bugga. Då måste man ifrågasätta om det är min sida det är fel på eller om det är inlagt att det är gjort så i spelet. Okej, Hanna.
What are you doing talking about Eve?
Eve. Sen meningen ska vara så här. Det är sjukt obehagligt. Det måste vara min dator som inte fixar det här av någon anledning. Det är buggigt. Okej.
Yes, my name is Hannah Smith. Oh, shit. Sorry.
Lögndetektor.
Across the road, where my parents first lived there, was a midwife called Florence. When Hannah was born, I was born at the same time. The midwife was there to help. I'd been throttled by the cord, probably wrapped around my neck by Hannah. The midwife told my mother I was dead. But I wasn't. She wrote all this stuff in a diary. Amazing what people will admit to on paper.
Du heter Eve.
She recognized me from the window. She told me to come inside and she hid me. They had made the attic into a place where Hannah could play. There was a dollhouse. She hid me up there. No one else ever went into the attic. It was her place.
Her story. Her story. Fan vad bra. Fy fan vad bra alltså. Okej.
No. I was 15. Carl was older. 17, I think. I was really into him, regardless of how he actually behaved. Lots of drunken teenage sex. We did it in a church once. Stupid. So he got tired of us and we split up after about 6 months. It was sad, but those early experiences, they help you realise who's really important to you, you know? Family.
Family. Jag söker på family och ser hur mycket vi får upp. Alltså jag gillar att den glitchar upp så här huvuden liksom. Så mycket jag vill. Är det jag som är Hanna som tittar på det här? Det är som att...
Yeah, when I was at school. I worked part-time in the front shop. It was sort of an extended family thing. My dad used to work there, my mum worked there before I was born. I took care of paperwork, filing, typing out invoices, that kind of thing. It was a good job for a girl back then. I didn't work a till or anything, though I was quite shy, so I wouldn't have liked to have worked a till.
Jävla lysrören. Det är så att jag tror att det är jag som speglas i skärmen. Fast jag vet att det inte är jag. Okej. Ive. Kan jag ta bort den? Det finns ju fler. Det knarret som hörs låter också som att det är liksom i rummet där jag sitter. Det är lite obehagligt.
Well, my friend Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
Ja. Yeah. Vad var det du sa här?
What are you doing talking about Eve?
Ja, det här klippet var från 13.06.94. 13.06.94, 15.50. 15.53.
Yes. We'd fight. We fought on the beach once and I held Eve's head underwater. There was no one else around. It was at the far end of the beach. And I held her head under and I kept it out.
Okay.
And for a moment, I just wanted to kill her and watch her drown. But that was it. It was just a moment. I mean, we made up afterwards. It was a love-hate relationship. A police station. Yeah. When I was young, we ran away on my birthday. Bob Dylan was playing in London and we thought we could break into his tour bus and have him take us with him. The taxi driver we paid to drop us off. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth. My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve. So my parents let me off.
Okay.
My mother called me Eve.
Yeah, she did. She did. Jag vill gärna se det här igen.
A police station. I mean, we'd saved money, pinched a bit here and there to pay for the fare. He was suspicious because we were so young, so he told the police. So they came and picked us up and took me back to Portsmouth.
Took me back to Portsmouth.
My mum picked me up from the station. But I blamed everything on my friend Eve.
Yeah.
So my parents let me off.
Okej. Så du är Eve och Hanna. Jag vet inte varför jag är dem, men jag tror jag gör det. Nothing. För att jag har stavat fel. Det var bara den, okej. För jag ville veta mer om Bob Dylan. Carl, fanns det bara en Carl, en ungdomskärlek? Det fanns några stycken. Det finns 5 stycken. pojken.
Was he my first? No need to be so coy. No, he wasn't my first. That would have been Carl. He was a local boy in a band. He was a bit of a shit. But he was sexy. We were 15. Family. So, Carl fucked off, and then there were other boys here and there, and then Simon. Differences? She's a better driver than me. She passed the test for us. I tried to take it and nearly crashed the car. Learned that you can't rely on confidence to get you through everything. She is the shy one. She was especially shy around boys. If Hannah liked a boy, I would have to pursue him. It was that way with Carl. I met him first. She had such a crush. I let him take my virginity after a night that his band had played at. It got difficult. When I was with Carl, we would have sex, but Hannah couldn't let him see she was a virgin. She had lots of excuses.
Är hon när hon är klädd i
After a while, we decided that I should take Hannah's virginity. It's not that different to a bruise, pulling a tooth, a graze. We used a hairbrush. After that, we took it in turns, though. I was always the one who seduced the boys. Until Simon.
Okej, så det är svartsjukedrama med dig själv, kanske. Jag vet inte. Så här är hon. Eve. Den andra personen är Hannah. Här är hon. Hannah som pratar om Eve. Hon är klädd i blått. Jag kanske över...
Hannah was so smitten with Simon. She started getting jealous. Didn't want to share. Even the first date. We went to see Tom Cruise at the Old Odeon. We both went. Kept changing places in the toilet. We only had one best dress, so we had to keep swapping clothes. Must have thought we had terrible bladder problems. The next date, it was my turn. At the end, I let him kiss me. But that was it. We didn't want another Carl on our hands, and the Ouija board had said to hold back.
Ouija board.
After that, it was Hannah's turn, and she slept with him. Broke the rules. Deliberately broke the rules. She wanted to be the first to sleep with him. I mean, that's when she got pregnant. From that one time.
Yeah. So, some Swedish are dead. Okej, vad är det här? Okej. Sorry. Just det då. Now search useful words. Okay.
Mum and Dad had never had any reason to notice. They were always busy. If Hannah was eating a lot, they didn't mind. She didn't put on any weight. That girl has a healthy appetite. If they heard us talking in the attic, they just thought it was Hannah playing one of her games, and that Eve was our imaginary friend. Once, she was already up and dressed and ready to go to school, and I snuck down for a piss. Mum saw me in my underwear, she went mad. Get dressed this instant! So I ducked into our bedroom, and seconds later, out came Hannah, dressed and ready. My mum was amazed.
Okay.
Okay. I've given blood before. Do you need to take that for your records? Nothing like this has ever happened to me before. The blood. It's probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Well, fine, considering. I got back into the house today.
Två
That was
muggar,
weird.
en mugg för Io och
Knowing
en för
people
Hanna.
have been there through my things. It's like I've been burgled. I mean, worse, obviously. I don't know. I haven't lived in the cellar yet. They sent a cleaner in. As good as new, he said. But they had to throw some stuff out. Couldn't get the blood out. And I'm still waiting to hear from the coroner so we can get a date set for the funeral. It's going to be a cremation. So...
Blood, you say.
She was sat behind him. She had my wig on. And she'd been there all day. And she had blood on her. And she was in shock.
Yeah.
Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
Fan var det, jag måste se det igen. Vad vackert.
Well, she has a knife. She's been cooking, I guess. She's been cooking him his favourite meal. She's his wife. And he's asleep and she doesn't want to wake him because he's ill. That's why she's sad. Because he's ill and he might die. It's kind of a sad story, so I'm not sure how it ends.
Me neither.
Mother wanted me to grow my hair long, but I kept cutting it myself. I wanted to look like my reflection. She always had short hair when she was little. Mother would hide the scissors, but I would find a way. Cut it with a bread knife, something like that. My reflection would always leave her house and go on adventures, but I never could. Mother taught me at home, and I had books and TV, TV was magical, but it was only on when it wanted to be, so I spent a lot of time reading books.
All right.
Silverleaf? No. He normally silvers them properly. This mirror, it's supposed to look antique. The reflection isn't as good. It's the perfect mirror for someone who doesn't like to look at their own reflection.
Ja, vad skönt. Jag vet inte vad jag ska göra av allt det här. Jag vet inte riktigt vad mitt uppdrag är. Kan jag öppna den? Mirror game. One modern ones here, classic 2-player. Sorry for lunchtime gaming. Enjoy. Mirror game. Ah, ja. Kan jag flytta på den här? Finns andra grejer? Det finns andra grejer här bakom. Intressant. Jag blir nyfiken. Okej. Stämmer den klockan? Stämmer det här? Nej. Nej. Okej. Okej. Reflection. Mirror game.
Florence raised me in her home. I never left it. She kept me out of sight.
Florence, det är din mamma.
It wasn't odd for people to see a midwife with a baby, carrying in supplies, washing nappies, that sort of thing. I never knew any different. I grew up looking out of my window and seeing her across the road. I thought it was like a reflection in the mirror. She was me. Yes. The first time we saw each other, it was strange. We both realised at the same moment, I think. We must have seen each other before, but there was this instant when we first realised it wasn't a reflection. The reflection was staring back. I think I was 5. It was my birthday. My reflection was wearing a party hat and waving. I knew what party hats were from books. And it suddenly occurred to me, today must be my birthday. I waved back and we just spent ages waving at each other and copying each other's movements. I wanted to see my reflection. I thought that if I touched her, something would happen. We would become one. One girl. The fairy tale was over, the witch was dead, and I'd be restored to my rightful place.
Varför jag gör så här kan. 9.
Okay. There's a girl and she's staring out of the window. She's sad. She's trapped. She's here. She's looking out the window because her mother won't let her out. It's Rapunzel. The story starts when she's born. Mother Gothel, a witch, takes Rapunzel from her parents and keeps her locked up in this tower. Rapunzel gets pregnant by the prince, and Mother Gothel is furious, so she cuts off her hair and throws it. Actually, her hair's already short here, so that's already happened. She throws her into the wilderness, and Rapunzel is reunited with the prince, who's blind, but she kills him with her tears, and so it's a happy ending. Is that too much?
Prestationer, ja, just det.
I would have been a good mother. I was young, but I would have been a good mother. She was a girl, by the way, the baby. We were going to call her Sarah.
Sarah.
Simon wanted to call her Ava after his nana.
Ava, Sarah.
But I didn't want her to have a symmetrical name.
Intressant är att det blir olika stories beroende på vem som klickar omkring.
She wasn't my real mother, but she raised me. Do you want to take a story? It's a real life fairy tale.
Damn. Är det allt har att säga om din bebis?
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room. And they decided we should get married. Yes, I'm fine. I won't be sick again. This happens some days. I'm pregnant. It's morning sickness.
Okej. Hur tidigt är det här? 25:06. 27:06.
No. Well, yes. He found out on my birthday. I told him I was pregnant. When I arrived in Glasgow, I was exhausted. The streets were empty. I was driving badly. And I hit a taxi. Not a big crash, just paintwork. The guy was so pissed off because I didn't have a driving license on me. But when I told him I was pregnant, he made sure I got to the hospital so they could check me out. It was fine. The hospital must have details when I was looked at. There's a scratch on the car.
Right. 2 sekunder.
Ask the hospital.
Detta var från 27/6. Det här är helt nya kläder. 2/7.
I don't see how it's hard. We've established I was in Glasgow when he was killed. You've spoken with the hospital.
Glasgow. Vad är 10 intros? Crossbow.
Yes. I got to Glasgow, I was exhausted, so I pulled over and slept in the car. I woke up because a rubbish truck went past. I got some petrol, bought a coffee and a pastry, tried calling someone from the payphone, and then headed back.
All right.
Yeah, that's Simon's watch. It was a gift from Eric. He got it this year. It was a wedding anniversary gift. Steel. It would have been Diane who chose it. She has really nice taste. That time, it must eliminate me. I was in Glasgow then. What did your wife do? She didn't kill you. You think I killed Simon because he was having an affair? Well, I didn't kill him. I wasn't even there. I was in Glasgow worrying about whether my baby was still growing inside me. I mean, why would I kill Simon? I loved him.
Was that Claire on Eve or Hannah?
It's like I told you before. I drove. I took the car and drove. I don't have my own car, but I have a spare set of keys. I just drove north. I wanted to think for some space between me and them. Everything I told you before is true. I stopped at Glasgow. I was tired, exhausted. I pulled out and I hit a car. My car was okay, I was worried about the baby, so I went to A&E to get the okay. Everything was fine. Slept in the car. When I woke, I tried to call Hannah from a payphone. She wasn't answering. And then I decided to drive back. I had decided that she was more important to me than Simon.
Hannah. Bebis Hannah. Bebis Hannah. Okej, jag har missat något om Glasgow. Utan Simon där. Där har jag 2 klipp.
I got in the car and I drove. I just kept driving north. Just kept going, just wanted to get as far away as I could. When I finally stopped, I was all the way up in Glasgow. I was so tired. I just had to sleep.
Varför åkte du till Glasgow? Det har jag missat.
No, I don't think so. Glasgow was deserted that early in the morning.
Okay. If you say so.
I was living in the attic. It was a very hard time. I was depressed, was still pretty sick of the STD. And I came down one morning and they were dead. They were in bed and both had been sick.
Oj då.
They'd thrown up a lot. And I'd slept through it. The police said it was mushrooms they ate.
Hej då.
Dad was a mushroom expert. I mean, he used to take us picking with him and he taught us how to recognize them. And there's no way you would have picked death caps. But the police believe that's what happened. They never even looked in the attic.
Varför skulle de ha gjort det? Okej. Wait to save face menar jag. Okej, du sa något om Diane tidigare. Vem är det?
Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spend a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
Eric's wife, Diane.
Diane is really nice. She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there.
Okay.
Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Ceefax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
Yeah, it's good. Tastes like licorice. Sitter hon med en gitarr där? Spännande.
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing. And they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane. No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf. Yes.
Du lyssnar på band.
Yeah, it's my guitar.
Du gillar musik. Det gjorde inte Simon. Inte för att det har inget med saker att göra.
You want me to play something? I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay. Probably needs tuning. No. It's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street. Sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain, but he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain, with a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. She pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind.
Fy fan. Fy fan. Ja, jag måste bara säga det att det är så jävla underbart att spel också kan vara det här. Att det också kan vara så här. Ja, jag vet inte, typ bara vackert och poetiskt och liksom. Det är riktigt bra. Det här kan också vara ett spel. Och det är helt jävla underbart att det finns en sån bredd i spel. Jag är lite tårögd nu för att det är liksom. Jag är fan lite tårögd nu. Fuck. Det är så jävla underbart det här. Att man kan upptäcka, att man kan förvånas över. Inte förvånas utan bara fan att det finns såna här spel. Den ska jag lägga in som en tease på Facebook för alla som inte gillar spel.
No. The parents decided there would be a wedding. And after the wedding, Hannah moved in with his parents. There was no way I could follow. So we were separated again. I stayed in the attic. It was hard. It was like I suddenly didn't exist. I would sneak out, but in case anyone recognized me, I started wearing a wig. Hannah and I would meet up in the park. I was trying to get pregnant. But I couldn't. I mean, I couldn't do it with anyone we knew, so it was sex with strangers. Drunk guys I'd met in clubs, parks and alleyways. I was 17. It felt like I was being punished. But it was Hannah who had betrayed us. I had to stop when one of the guys gave me an STD.
Ja, könssjukdom. Jag tänkte att det var något annat.
When we met up, it was disturbing. For the first time, my reflection, she didn't look like me. She was fatter, flushed. If anything, I was getting skinnier. I found it hard to look sometimes. We talked about what to do. Was it time to become our own people? I mean, that seemed like the right thing to do, but neither of us wanted it. We agreed that her and Simon would get their own place as soon as possible, and then I could move in. And that was the plan.
Jag var inte fokuserad där riktigt.
Not drugs. I mean, he drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem. They got to bed feeling ill, thinking it was flu or something. The neighbour called me, I had to use my key to let them in. We found them dead in their bed. And they'd been there for days. No one had noticed.
Du var on the edge.
It was so soon after my miscarriage. The worst year of my life. I'd been so happy to get married, and after that it was just like, fuck.
Miscarriage. Miscarriage, det var det ordet jag sökte. Miscarriage.
Can you imagine? I tried to get pregnant too, but it didn't happen. As it was so many boys, men. My body refused. I think my period stopped because hers had. I was pretty ill. I mean, how could we stay the same now? I felt like Hannah had really fucked things up. Set us down separate paths.
Jag tar tillbaka, jag tycker hon är en bra skådis. Här. Kvinnan. Okej. Jag kan inte stava. Fan. Nej, det stavas inte så. Hur fan stavas det? Nej, fan också. Jag måste se hur det stavas. Var är det här klippet? Just
after my miscarriage.
Miscarriage. Nej, stavar jag fel igen. Hur fan kan jag lyckas med det här? Jag har ju penna och papper. Nu blir jag generad. Jag stavar ju så.
Miscarriage.
Är det 2 R? Eller? Fuck. Berätta mer om Florence.
Florence took me home with her. Mother hadn't been expecting twins and had a healthy baby. I guess she was just happy for Florence to clean up. Take away the evidence that this was anything but a happy occasion. Florence was a warm, kind person. But she was broken, I guess. When I found her diary, I also found a biscuit tin with other stuff in it. Older papers, letters, that kind of thing. Her story wasn't there.
In the letters.
I never really spoke to her about it. I was far too young to really understand, I guess. I just put it together later, once I was older. She had loved children, planned to have a large family, but her husband died in the war. And that was back when you married for life. She never felt like she could marry again. Isn't that strange? She was a widow from her 20s. But, I mean, I guess it was different then. You know, you married for life and she felt she could never marry again. I guess it was harder, a war widow. One of the dead. I don't know, maybe there was more to it than that. I don't really know.
Jag har kommit så långt ifrån Simon nu.
No.
Jag är så nyfiken på henne.
And her. It was the name they were going to call their first child. They talked about it and were going to try when he came back. Florence's family had a history of firstborn girls, so they were convinced it was going to be a girl. It's hard to know if this is all true. These are stories I remember that I read when I was a child. Maybe I misread. Maybe I misunderstood. Sometimes it's hard to remember what happened last week.
Vi borde ha fler sånger helt plötsligt.
I guess you could call it that, but we were both happy to get married. was a beautiful wedding. We had our first dance to Come Back and Stay. I'm not sure if that's a good wedding song, but I loved it. I chose it. I mean, it was genuinely our first dance. We'd never danced together before. It was probably awful to watch, but I enjoyed it. It felt like it was just me and Simon for that moment. Just the two of us. Simon isn't the type to run off or do anything crazy. Someone must have done something to him, or there must have been some kind of accident. So what do we do next?
Det här var... Okej.
I mean, what if they were crazy? You hear about these crazy people all the time. I mean, why would anyone who knew Simon want to kill him? Her story is that she'd waited for him to come back. She put on my wig, some of my clothes, pretended to be me. They talked. She'd enjoyed being me. He said he wanted to be with me. Then he took out a present, another mirror, just like the one he'd given her earlier. That unique present. She went crazy, smashed the mirror. They argued, screamed. He hit her. So she grabbed a piece of the mirror and just swung it round. She cut his throat clean open. She'd only meant to scare him off.
Right. Har jag sökt henne? Simon. Just det, ett sånt där. Samma fram och baklänges, ja, just det.
Hannah had a miscarriage. This was late in the pregnancy.
Miscarriage utan twist.
Felt like the universe had corrected its. This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile.
Ursäkta, jag måste se hur det stavas, det där ordet. Okay.
This was late in the pregnancy and it left her infertile. Felt like the universe had corrected its course. We were aligned again. But Hannah and Simon were still living with his parents. They were married. Simon had a job at the Glaziers now. Eric had given him a full-time position after he left school. And then...
Ja, jag ska se. Det var den bara. Okej. Nu så.
No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months.
Det var första barnet.
We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life.
Just det.
The miscarriage and then my parents. Yeah. I was infertile thought I was. They told me I was infertile after the miscarriage because of complications.
Yeah. Okay, I might try. Okay.
No, he doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not books so much, or watching TV. He likes TV. His body doing it real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut.
Men vem var du när du kuttade?
Det här glasses. Has these thick glasses. It doesn't always work.
Ja, men det ska man tro att du hade med glasögon att göra, men det hade det alltså inte.
We were obsessed with fairy tales. Not just the pretty ones, but the traditional ones. They were dark and real, bizarre and violent. Felt like life. We had this huge old book that I think Mum must have bought from a library sale. The illustrations had thin tracing paper over them to protect them. They were in colour, shiny plates. At the front of the book was an index of illustrations. We read that more than the actual stories. We'd read aloud the captions and flip between the pictures. There was something intimate about peeling back the tracing paper, undressing the pictures. Rapunzel's hair is cut.
Rapunzel.
The eagle plucks out his heart. The princess pricks her finger. Sorry. The picture, the way it's drawn, just reminded me of the books we used to read as children. I read those fairy tales over and over, and they were so real to me. Rapunzel was my favourite. My brain is just full of it.
Yeah, it is.
How many of these in colour? Did I pass? Sorry, I messed it up with all that Rapunzel stuff. Do you need me to do that card again?
Roligt.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
Blond.
This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
Cat flap.
No, they were shut. Most of the windows are really hard to open anyway. They're stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door.
En sån där kattlucka. Jag behöver egentligen gå på toaletten och kissa. Det är viktigt för alla att veta, men jag kan inte slita mig från det.
No cat.
Får vänta,
My parents had a
hålla
cat
mig.
before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots.
Domino.
With white dots.
Domino.
This little black thing with white dots.
Men
Before they died called Domino.
Domino, okej.
It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat for that, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it. We loved our cat, Domino. He had this little bell around his neck to stop him from killing birds in the garden. And we used to write each other notes and put them in the bell, and we could send them to each other. Mum found some of the notes once, and she thought I was just writing to myself because our handwriting was identical. And we had our own words for things, so she didn't quite understand them anyway.
Nej. Vad var det jag skulle söka på nu? Her Story. Som spelet heter. Okej, jag har gått igenom dem. My Story. Jag har sett dem med.
She's crying, I guess. She's sad because she thought she saw her husband with another woman. But it's okay, because she finds out it wasn't her husband, it was his brother. And so it's fine.
Jag kan inte stava tydligen. Så.
No, Simon wasn't seeing another woman. Yes, I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
Okay.
No, I'm okay. Fuck. Can I leave? Are you going to arrest me? No. They'd laugh you out of the building. A lawyer would make mincemeat of you.
Så man ser.
A lawyer would make mincemeat. Of you.
Lawyer. Jag måste bara kolla hur vissa saker stavas.
Are you arresting me? No. Fuck off. Open this door.
Okej.
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them.
Vilka?
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them. I hoover my dust. every week, maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people ask, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day, ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
Jag tänkte som söka på secret som nästa ord. Okej.
Okay. I parked up in the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. But he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there.
Cellar.
I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough? Yeah. 1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful. Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. A forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It was just awful.
Okej. Det var inte det jag skulle kolla. Jag skulle kolla. Stavas det kanske med A.
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Simon's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I'd looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed and that's when I called the police.
Okej.
No. The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen, you can probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need.
Yeah.
Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours.
Liten anteckning.
It happened very quickly. We hardly had to talk to each other. We agreed almost silently. The baby was what mattered. We'd help each other. We cleaned up. We bagged up the broken mirror, her clothes. They're gone. We took him down to the cellar. We knew we had an alibi, and we wanted the body to be found later. We wanted to have suspicion on us, so we could then disprove it, rather than have it linger. Better to keep the body in the house than risk being seen with it. The watch was my touch to make sure the alibi stuck.
Jag vill veta varför hon erkänner.
Okay, you got me. I'll confess. We were there. It was a dirty weekend. Simon was going to expense it, pretend it was a business trip. I used a made-up name. We stayed at the hotel, had room service, didn't leave the room, had a great view of the river, and you could hear the church bells. Like you said, it was very romantic. We spent the wedding night in a hotel in Brighton. It would have been too much to do more. We were saving for the baby. It was wonderful to be in a hotel, away from home, just alone together. Since then, we've always tried to get away for our holiday. And the hotel said he was there?
The hotel said he was there. Who? Jag bara gör något galet nu.
Sure. Yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there.
What?
Sure. Yes, of course, if that would help. Will you phone the house to let me know when you want to come round? Then I can make sure that I'm there. Sure, I think. I do all the bills and paperwork and handle all the money stuff, so it should be easy for me to find. Do you want them dropped off to you?
Så det är så sjukt spännande.
It was my birthday, like you said. We were going to have a meal at home. We had our meal. He gave me his present. I guess I didn't like the present. I got a job to contribute, you know. Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, It's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
Outside, log off and meet me over the road. What the fuck? I'm Sarah. I'm the baby.
At the time they said it was poison, food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I don't know.
Tungt alltså. Fan vilket bra spel. Vilken bra berättelse. I'm Sarah. Sarah.
They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But I mean, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone, and no one had any reason to hurt them.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen enough. Ja, jag kommer nog kika lite mer på det här själv. Men det där är i alla fall mitt gameplay av spelet Her Story. Jag älskar det, helt fantastiskt. Jag måste gå och kissa nu, annars så kissar jag på mig. Tack för att du tittade. Det var kul här.